What is up, guys? Here's how you're going to make your first $10,000 in business, even if you're a complete beginner, and even if you've tried every single thing in business. I'm going to tell you one thing. This video is going to be more informational than anything you've ever seen in business, because I personally have walked this path that you've walked literally over the last 6 months. So it's still fresh in my mind, and I have more frameworks and more things than you've ever seen anywhere, including Alex Hormozi. And just for the proof, this is me in my Stripe account, my active Stripe account, in my first client balance of me making $40,000 entirely online just off of Stripe. Now, I've already taken payments through Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, and that accumulatively has made over $105,000. Yes, you should not use Stripe all the time. They take processing fees, which suck. The main fundamental difference between people who make money online and people who don't make money online are people who start with mindset. So before we get to any of the money-making stuff, let's start with your brain. Who better to start with the brain than Sam Ovens with this diagram? Every human being, and this is the fundamental truth about this entire video and about everything you ever do in business, is that everyone currently has a desired situation and everyone currently is in a situation. And the person who can understand where you currently are and where you desire to be, you can sell the gap and you can sell how fast you close that gap for other people. Let's say that I don't have shoes. That is my current situation. My desired situation is to get shoes. The person who can approach me with a pair of shoes and say, hey, look, this is $50. I am paying $50 to close the gap between my current situation, no shoes, and my desired situation to have shoes. If you understand this at a super high level, you can make a lot of money very quickly. The problem is that most people are unaware of their own problems. We are all up in this category. We don't even realize that we have any problems because we're egotistical, not understanding that we have problems. So our job as an entrepreneur is to pull someone down a funnel going from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to product aware to you aware. So let's say that I make money online and I help people make money online too with the first client. But most of you guys don't even realize that you're fucking broke. You have $5,000 in the bank, you're in high school, you're about to graduate, and you think that you want to make money online. You feel like you might have a little bit of money to your name, but the truth is you're broke. You're unaware of that, so I need to make content that speaks directly to your heartstrings and tells you that you guys are broke. So I bring you now to being totally unaware of a problem, to now you are aware that you are broke and you want to fix it. So then I'll make more content about the fact that you have this problem, but you don't know how to fix it. So how could you possibly not be broke? Well, you could work a job, you could go to college, you could go to the military, you could go to trade school, you could start a business. And now I can talk about the solution, pulling you down to solution aware. Out of all the solutions that we just looked at, what are the best solutions? Well, in my personal opinion, because I've made $100,000 online and I've seen a bunch of people make millions of dollars online, I can honestly tell you that owning your own company, even though it's very treacherous and it takes a lot of time, you will have more success doing that than anything else. And therefore, I believe that the solution to your problem is start a business. But what business do you start? Now we're into product aware, because there's many businesses that you could start: lawn care, house care, pool care, but maybe none of those are scalable enough for you and they don't actually deliver the result that you're looking for. But SMMA is my unique mechanism that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to say, hey, look, why don't I get you your very first client in SMMA in less than 30 days? That is the product that I want you to be aware of, and I pull you down the funnel with more content to the point where you become so aware of SMMA being the solution that you look at all the other options of, how do I get an SMMA? What courses should I buy? Now you're asking questions. Previously, you didn't even realize that you had a problem, but now you realize that you do. So you come to me for the solution, because I've been the guy who's held your hand the entire time, walking you through this funnel, totally unaware of your own problems, all the way down to you actually being fully aware and you trusting me as the guy who's going to help you make money. At that point, I will make money. You'll pay me for me to coach you. And on the other end of it, you can do this for your clients, which we're going to talk to you about momentarily. Well, money, simply defined, is exchanging value. But most people stop there because they don't know what value is. Well, luckily, there's a guy named Alex Hormozi who lives on the internet and talks about value quite literally all the time. And he actually has a value equation. And if you've never seen this, welcome to the start of your future. And if you have seen this, I'm going to go pretty quick so that you guys don't miss the good stuff that's later in this video that's going to change your life. So the value equation goes like this. On the top, this is a fraction, by the way. If you guys never have seen a fraction, go back to math class. But on the top of the fraction, we have the dream outcome multiplied by this perceived likelihood of achievement, all over time delay multiplied by effort and sacrifice. The goal of the value equation is simple. You want to make the number on the numerator as big as possible. You want to make the denominator, the numbers on the bottom, as small as possible. Because what we know is if we can bring the number on the denominator or the fraction or the bottom of the fraction to 0, Something divided by 0 is a limit which reaches close to infinity. Now, remove the limit, let's just say it's infinity. So if there's something, then you're essentially saying that if you have a super high dream outcome, super high perceived likelihood that you will achieve the dream outcome, you have 0 time delay, you have 0 effort and sacrifice, your value is infinite. Let's say that you have cancer, and I come to you and I say, all you need to do is press this red button, $1 million will be pulled out of your bank account, but at the same time your cancer will disappear. Is that pretty valuable for cancer to just disappear like that? Of course it is, because the dream outcome is your current situation is you have cancer, your desired situation is you don't want to have cancer. The dream outcome is pretty big, and the separation between where you currently are and where you desire to be is massive. And the perceived likelihood that you will achieve that goal by yourself is pretty small. So the time delay that it's going to take for you to go to your current situation to your desired situation is so massive that if you paid $1 million, which is the price tag to close that gap, this would have infinite value if it could actually happen. So when you build a product, when you build a business, don't just think, how do I make money? How do I make 10K? Slow it down. How is your business worthy enough of making 10K? What do you need to do as an entrepreneur to be worth $10,000? And how do you actually solve problems that are big enough where people will pay you thousands of dollars to close those gaps in their life? So then how can I make $10,000? Because you literally don't understand that all you do right now is work a job and you have less than $5,000 to your name. This is how you're going to make $10,000. The difference between your job and business. You understand your whole life that if you work 1 hour, you'll get $20. That's $20 per hour that you work. You think that, okay, well, if I want to make $10,000 divided by how many hours it's going to take for me to work at $20 an hour to get $10,000, that's a lot of time. But on the other front, why is it that Alex Davis can start a business and make $10,000 in one single day when it would take you 3 months of your life if you didn't spend a single dollar to make $10,000? It's because this is a linear relationship and this is an exponential one. This relationship has nothing to do with how much time you are actually spending. Because in the beginning of business, up until this point, you basically are making nothing. You legitimately in the beginning of business will make nothing. For the first 2 years of my life, I made nothing. I just read books, I learned, I became a person of value that when somebody was approaching me and I could help them go from current situation to desired situation, I could actually help them. But I had to become the person that could help them do that. And so do you. So in the beginning, you're not going to make a lot of money because you're not very valuable. But once you become valuable, you'll never be broke again. So the difference in example A is that your passing time working for someone else, the time under task is the value. And option B, your ability to move someone from current situation to desired situation is the value. There's leverage. If you guys don't know who Archimedes is, he had a great quote that says, if you give me a lever and a place to stand, I can move the world. And this is the whole fundamental reason why I tell people to get into business. I'm 21 years old and I make more money than my parents. I know 18-year-old kids that make more money than multimillionaires that are in their 70s. And it's because we have access to vehicles, things in business that will allow us to add leverage where we can do significantly more things. This is a lever. This is what you call a fulcrum. And as long as there's the fulcrum and you place the lever on top of the fulcrum, you can move the heaviest object in the world. But it all depends on where this fulcrum sits. If this fulcrum was way over here, this would be very low leverage. You move this fulcrum to this side, you can move the heaviest object in the world. And the business world works the same way. There's a guy named Naval Ravikant, and he talks about the 4 types of leverage that you can use in your business. And I'm going to cover them here, and we're going to cover them in this training, and I'm going to cover them over the course of my business career. There's 2 overarching types of leverage, and there's 4 total types of leverage. The overarching types are permissionless and permissioned. Permissionless, I don't need to ask you to use these leverage points. I can just simply use them. And permissioned is where you literally have to ask people in order to do this. The first type, which is permissionless, you have code and you have media. Imagine that I'm talking to my friend who's sitting on the other side of this camera. This whole entire situation that I'm going through right now, this entire video, was just me talking to a friend. Is that very high leverage or very low leverage? Yeah, it's low leverage because it's just him and I. Now, if I put a camera in between him and I doing the same conversation and this video gets 1 million views, that is very high leverage. Code. I can spend 10 hours up front building a line of code. Once that line of code is built, it can be replicated millions and millions and millions of times. Even though it took me 10 hours in the beginning, now it's leveraged. A better way to ask yourself what leverage is, it's the relationship between inputs and outputs, what you do and what you get in a system. Now, I would be the smartest person in the world if I told you that I invented all these concepts myself, but this is why I spent 2 years studying business, because a lot of these concepts just come from the people that I've been learning about: Naval Ravikant, Alex Hermosi, Sam Ovens, and a bunch more. The permission types of leverage are capital and labor. I could go ahead and use other people's money to leverage it to go buy things like real estate, code, media. I need to ask people, and I need to pitch people, and I need to sell people in order to do this. Labor is the same way. I could duplicate myself into other people by hiring them in my company, but I need to ask them, I need to vet them, I need to hire them in order to use those types of leverage points. Let's imagine that there was a person who made this entire presentation. There was a person who filmed this entire video. There was a person that edited this video. There was a person that posted this video. And I, even though it was all in my brain, was not even a part of this process. I've leveraged myself using other people's labor, duplicating myself multiple times. All the content that you see me post on my channel was never posted by me, was never edited by me. It would take hundreds of hours for me to go and do that myself. I have constant streams of people who are duplicating my skill sets and utilizing editing tools to do this for me. AI is going to be one of the biggest levers in the next 10, 20 years, so watch out for it. All right, so enough of the mindset stuff. Here's how you're going to make $1 billion with 3 different examples. If you find one problem that 1 billion people have and you sell the solution for $1, you've made $1 billion. Or if you took a product that is very, very good and you deliver the result in half the time, you can make $1 billion. Or you use the access economy. You basically take people who have a lot of stuff in excess and you sell that and you arbitrage it. The 3 prime examples are Uber, Airbnb, and DoorDash. Uber doesn't own any cars. Airbnb does not own any houses. They have taken advantage of what we call the arbitrage economy, where you use other people's things and you just sell it for them. You become a platform. This is why brand is so big. There are 2 things that you could sell in a business. You can sell products that I can touch, like this energy drink, which I love so much. Or you could sell services. Some common examples of services would be lawn care, snow removal, car detailing, window cleaning, SMMA copywriting, which we're going to cover in a little bit. Products, on the other hand, are physical things. There's digital products and there's physical products. But the problem with products is that they're not beginner friendly. Oftentimes they have inventory cost. Oftentimes you actually have to go buy things and you have to have distribution and you have to have supply and you have to have supply chain. And there's a whole bunch of logistics that go into product. I don't like that as a beginner friendly business model. And especially if you're trying just to make your first 10K, let's just focus simply on services. But a better way to put this is that products enable services and services support products. Best example I could come up with that I found is that when you open a bank account, the service itself is nothing more than conglomeration of all the different products, from credit check, identity verification, account management. You combine all the products and it becomes a service in itself. Lawn care is only a service because a lawn mower, the product, is something that you can go ahead and service with other people's lawns. But the biggest problem that I see people falling into now is that you guys scour the internet. You bump into videos like this, you bump into videos like Iman, you bump into videos like Jordan Welsh and all these guys that teach you all these different business models. And then you start asking me, hey guys, what business model should I be doing? Should I focus on e-com or drop shipping or Amazon FBA or affiliate marketing or drop servicing or drop shipping or service dropping? Or it doesn't matter, because just look at this list that I put together. These are all the common business models that you guys get yourselves into. And I actually had to go ahead and scour the internet just to find the top 25 of them. But there's thousands of them that you guys literally spend all day long going after. And the reason it's stupid is because human beings live in marginal utility. You go to the store when you're super hungry and you're like, dude, I want to eat Skittles. The very first Skittle that you pop in your mouth when you're hungry will give you the most amount of pleasure possible. But at a certain point, if you eat too many Skittles, the pleasure that you actually get, or the utility that you get from that activity, starts to decay. At which point we will start a brand new thing. We can call this hedonism. We can call this shiny object syndrome, whatever you want to call it. We always want to go chase the new exciting idea, the new exciting business model, rather than focusing on foundational skill sets. And there's some actual foundational skill sets that I want you guys to master over these next couple months that are really going to drastically change the course of your life. And nobody ever talks about this. And we're getting into the real meat of this. The first thing is selling. Selling comes in two parts. There's setting and there's closing. Setting is you getting meetings, you talking to people, you putting them on a Zoom call, you go into a coffee shop, and you just setting up a time for a closer, even yourself, to close the deal down and collect some cash. Everything else I'm talking about this presentation does not matter if you don't know how to set and close. You can start with setting because it's super simple, and then you can go to closing once you realize that you've mastered setting. Some resources that I recommend if you want to learn this: Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone is an incredible book that I recommend every single one of you guys to read. Psychology of Selling is by Brian Tracy is really good. Cardone University is a really good course that I recommend. The best way to practice this is role playing. Go ahead and join a sales organization. Go to a car dealership. Go to insurance sales. You want to focus on people that are actually focused on selling and not just pressure cooking people into buying things. A bunch of other NEPQ stuff with Jeremy Lee Minor. You really want to focus on people who are trying to dial in selling to the best of their ability with tonality, body language, even word tracks. Like Andy Elliott always is talking about word tracks. It's honestly going to take you guys about 6 to 12 months with consistent practice to get good at selling. Content creation. This is another crucial skill. Like I said, instead of focusing on the business models, just focus on the foundational skill sets that eventually you can just move around into different pieces, and you could basically do any of these business models in your sleep. So if you want to become a content creator, the reason I say this is because when you're going to go ahead and sell, like the best way to sell is inbound, meaning that people are coming to you instead of you going out and getting them outbound. And inbound comes from content creation. People seeing your YouTube videos, people seeing your TikToks, your Instagram reels, all of that. I've spent the last 4 years posting consistently on these platforms just to learn the skill of content creation. Skill number 3. This is one that nobody talks about. Not a single person on the internet, not a single entrepreneur talks about design. I go to the #1 design school in the entire world, SCAD. And the only thing that you spend your very first year at SCAD doing, the first $40,000 that you're writing a check for, is learning how to design, learning how to draw. And it's so simple. Just understanding light, shadow, shade, tone, the color wheel. It's kind of funny that most people don't actually think about this, but this is the foundational level of human existence. You look around at anything in your room, and everything is just a formation of lines, shadows, shapes, objects, and you understand how they relate to each other in space. You can create content like you've never imagined. You can do things like you've never imagined. You can design things like you've never imagined. YouTube thumbnails. This, again, is probably going to take you 6 to 12 months. It took me 12 months in the #1 design school in America just to get good at design. If you don't know how to make an offer to somebody so good that people feel stupid to say no to it, no one's going to buy your stuff, because there's always a level of risk. There's always sales resistance, and people don't like to feel that. Copywriting, communication, networking. Take screenshots of this, guys. I don't want to spend too much time on any of these. Most of you guys are just so focused on getting to the next business model, getting to the next shiny object, that you'll never actually sit still and learn these foundational skills. So how are you actually going to make $10,000? It's super simple, guys. You either sell a product that's $1,000 to 10 people, $100 to 100 people, $10 to 1,000 people, or $1 to 10,000 people. And because you're watching this video and you don't have a massive audience, you only have access to the first two, which is $1,000 to 10 people or $100 to 100 people. And I would even stay away from this because I don't even think you know 100 people that are going to pay you for anything. So let's just eliminate this altogether, and let's just focus simply on the top one. We need to find a service that we can sell to 10 people for $1,000 to make $10,000 in the next 30 days. I compiled a list of some of the best services that you guys can sell. Our very first option is web design. This is what I recommend every single person to do if they're starting out. $1,500 to $2,000 for websites. We have social media management, which you can actually put on a retainer, $2,000 to $3,000 a month, just managing and posting for people's social media accounts. This also is pretty easy. Most of you guys watching this video are going to be doing this one, which I don't even know why in the literal heck Iman Gadji ever told you guys to do this. But you guys are going to be trying to run Facebook ads. You can make a lot of money with this. I'm not going to lie. But it's one of the hardest business models to get started in. Google review automation. There's moderate startup if you don't have the proper skill sets, but you can charge anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month. We have school communities. These things just started popping out of the woodwork like babies out of a pregnant mom. Everyone and their brother wants to start a school community for some reason. It's hard because you guys need an audience. You need traffic to go to your school community. And I promise you that people staying on a recurring subscription, $10, $20, $30, $40 a month, it's a lot of work. And if you don't have the traffic to go to your school community, well, you're wasting your time. Because I do coaching, and I charge $500 at the start all the way up to $1,500 for coaching. And I have 70 people in my membership, which trying to get those guys to pay literally $100 they don't want to do it. There's a lot of guys that will tell you to start school communities. So if you want to do that, I would listen to them. Don't listen to me. But the biggest question is, what are you actually going to sell? There's a bunch of opportunities everywhere, business models everywhere. You can literally make $1 million a million different ways, and you could still be fine. Well, there's three main questions that John Lee Dumas makes me ask, and I'm going to ask you guys the same questions. What are you guys good at? What are you curious about? And what does the market want? We cannot answer this third question because you don't have enough market data, but you can answer the first and second question. Out of these business models, out of everything I've listed off in this video, what are you guys good at and what are you guys curious about? What would you guys do for absolutely free? Your intuition in your brain is going to guide and direct you somewhere. Question is it going to get you in the right direction to $10,000? Once you answer the first two questions, let's try our best to answer the third question with these set of questions. What does the market want? Well, we need to have a starving crowd. We need to have purchasing power, easy to target, growing, scalable. Like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, you need sticky air. You need something that you can get essentially for a penny and sell it for $1. And you can do that repeatedly for the rest of the time. You could even go to ChatGPT and Google the top 100 problems that people are facing. But what I like to tell people in the beginning is focus on who you were 3 years ago. The problems, the issues that you used to face. See if you overcame any issues that you could probably monetize by putting together a blueprint, putting together a guide, making YouTube content in some form or fashion where all of a sudden somebody sees the videos and they realize like, oh my God, he was exactly where I am today 3 years ago and he got out of that situation. How can I do that for myself? Because I realized on the day that I started the first client 3 years before that, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just wanted to make money. I literally told myself, if I just sign one client, if I just get money from one random stranger on the internet, I will be set for life. And let me remind you of what this Stripe account looks like. I'm at the point now where I'll make $800 in a single day and I won't even feel it. It's literally been desensitized to me to a degree that I can't even fathom or understand. But there is a lot of pain from where you are 3 years ago, and maybe putting that together in a guide would be a really helpful thing. Next part of what you should sell is figuring out your competitive edge. So what does the ideal avatar not want to do? What is everyone else making them do? And how can you get into the blue ocean? So most of you guys watching this video are agency owners, or you want to be an agency owner. And you guys are all trained to go after local businesses who are 45 years old, who want to spend more time with their kids, out on the lake, at home, with friends, less time in the store. Less time calling customers, less time getting spammed by marketing agencies selling local lead gen services. What does the average agency owner do despite all the things that I just listed off? They sell 15 to 40 booked appointments or you don't pay. How could you stand out in this competitive market? You help local businesses retire from the store by closing an additional 15 customers per month, or we work for free until you get there. The whole point, guys, is that most of you guys, especially in the agency space, will sell something that you think that people need. I want to sell people leads. I want to sell people appointments. Or if you're like me, I would say scrap the entire agency model and do what I'm about to tell you how to do. Once you figure out what to sell, and if you don't know, I'm actually going to give you what to sell here in a second. Here's a little sales tip. Do not sell on logic. Sell on emotion. Let me ask you guys a question. Why do people hire you to cut their lawn? The logical person says, because it's long, so they price it at $20 an hour. The emotional person says, because when the lawn is cut, your wife will feel proud of the lawn, looking so good that she'll brag to her neighbors, then your friends will look up to you, they'll idolize your lawn, you'll make love to your wife more, and so you charge $200 per hour. This law changed the way I did business for the rest of my life. This, in conjunction with truly knowing who your ideal avatar is, changes the game forever. And if you guys still are unsure of what to sell, I would tell you, just sell websites, guys. Just sell websites. I make so much content about this. It's the easiest thing ever. When a business opens their doors for the very first time, what do they need? They need a logo and they need a website. And 99% of American businesses fail within the first year. And the reason is because they don't have enough traffic. They don't get enough clients. And that is because their website and social media presence suck. We live in 2024, folks. If you want a simple, a logical business model to start, website design is it. Now that you know what to sell, how do you actually go about selling it? You want to work completely for free, get a proof of concept, gather 5 case studies, gather more testimonials, and then start selling. The very first thing that I would do is I would go to Google and I would just find a business that does not have a website. This business has a website, that business has a website. Oh, this business does not have a website. So we're going to make them a website. Then you want to get Go High Level, which is the software that you're going to use to build websites. Yes, it is a paid software. I did not invent it. I do get affiliate commissions if you guys use my link below. If you guys want 15 days free of this, just use my link. Okay. So there's 3 plans. There's $97 a month, $300 a month, $400 a month. Do not get involved with this. This is way too much for you guys. You literally just need $100 a month. once you get Go High Level, you're going to open up their website section, and you're just literally going to go to the search bar right here, and you're going to search for gyms. So step 3, you're going to rebuild the website using a template. I'm showing you guys here a fitness template, but you're going to use one of the Go High Level templates, and you're just going to drag and drop, change up the text. You're going to change up the buttons. You're just going to get familiar with the software. Right now we're in the phase where you're not going to be earning money. You need to learn how to use the software. You need to become the person who's valuable enough to actually go ahead and make money. Step number 4, once this website is brand new, once it's built, once you actually have the whole thing built out, you're going to show this to the business owner using a cold call. How do you cold call a business? Well, there's 8 different steps, and I could walk you through the better steps in a second, but the main thing that you're trying to do here is you're going to try to either get the business owner to give you a testimonial, get the business owner to pay you, get the business owner to refer business to you, or if it sucks, get feedback from the business owner on why your website sucks so that you can improve it and change it for the next one. Super simple. So when you're contacting this business owner, the first thing you want to do is you want to call them. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, is this the owner of My Way Fitness? Yes, this is Chris. Hey, Chris, just out of curiosity, I don't think you're the guy to help me, but why is the website down? Or I noticed your guys' website wasn't working. Oh, yeah, well, we're fixing that right now. Oh, well, I know you're fixing it, but out of curiosity, if I just showed you a brand new one that I just built you over the last 8 hours, would you want to take a look at it? No, I don't want to be sold anything. No. I live in the local area, and I'm trying to start a web design business, and I just made you a free website. I'll email it to you right now. You let me know what you think. If you think it sucks, please tell me. If you like it, maybe we could talk. Maybe you can make me an offer. Maybe we could work together. I don't know. How does that sound? Yeah. Who are you with? Like I said, I just live in the local area, just helping out the neighbors and trying to build out the best websites possible in the area. My name's Alex Davis, by the way. Oh, yeah, Chris, it's, I'm right in the middle of a training session, but call me later. Yeah. Okay, well, Chris, I'll send you the website right here to this phone number. Is this your personal phone? Yeah. And you get out of the gym at 6 o'clock. All right. Why don't we do this? I know you're busy. I have to run to another meeting anyway. I'm super busy as it is, but I'll send you the website, and at 6 o'clock, I'm going to give you a call, and I want to see what you think. It doesn't need to be long. You just tell me, do you like it or do you hate it? And if you like it, what do you like? And how much do you think this website's worth? That's all we're doing. Okay, yeah. Click. That's all we're doing. That is all that you're doing. If you overcomplicate it, if you make this process complicated, it will become complicated. I cannot tell you how many people, how many thousands of students I've worked with. I've worked with 7,000 free students, by the way. How many students come to me and they're like, Alex, how do I do the cold call again? And I'm like, dude, that was it. I just told you how to do it. That is all you need to do. Do not overcomplicate it. You're all human beings. There's not a single person watching this YouTube video right now that is not a human being. And as a human being myself, I can promise you and I can tell you with my whole heart and soul and mind and body, if you make this process complicated, this is the hardest part and the hardest and scariest part of business. You do not want this to be complicated. You want to just be a regular human. You're not calling them and saying, hey, this is Alex from AZ Media, welcoming you in the local area. We're going to help you get 15 leads, 15 booked appointments, or you don't pay. How does that sound? You want to talk now or you want to talk later? Don't ever do that. Just call the business owner and tell them that they do not have a website, which they're already aware of. And then ask them why they don't have a website, which they already have an answer for. And then just tell them that you built one for free. After you do this process with this one website, what are you going to do after that? You're going to get 5 more case studies so that you actually spend the next 30 days mastering this skill, guys. All you need to do is sell your ass off until you make $10,000, which shouldn't take longer than a month. 1 month to learn, 1 month to sell, 1 month to get 10K. How are we going to do this? We're going to keep it super simple. The same way I just described on how you're going to find websites and businesses. Now, if you picked another business model or you're doing something else that was not listed up here or that we didn't talk about, totally fine. You're going to repeat this process, but for your business. You're going to cold call, or you're going to DM, or you're going to email, and you're going to talk to people, because the only way you can make money in this human world is if a human being pays you money. You cannot print money. You are not the Federal Reserve. You need to get money from a human being, and the only way to get money from a human being is if a human being knows you so they can pay you. You're going to cold call the set meetings, and then you're going to close them. Once you are on the Zoom call, we're going to follow Alex Hormozzi's closer framework, and we're going to close the deal down. So at the very start of the meeting, you're hopping on the Zoom call. Hey, Chris, it's awesome to meet with you. I just want to know, like, what are we doing here today? Why did you come in? Why are we on the Zoom call? Just to clarify, like, if there's one thing that I could do to fix your problem right now, what is that? Then they're going to talk. They're going to say, well, I paid this guy, I paid that guy. I tried to build my website out. I got screwed over by this person, that person, the other person, that person's brother. I lost all this money, I don't want to lose any money, whatever it is. They don't want to lose any money. Okay, cool. Everything that they just said, we're going to use as ammunition right back into them. Okay, so Chris, it sounds like you would like to build a website. Am I hearing you correctly? Yeah, dude, I would love to build a website that actually works. And it sounds like you're struggling because every person you pay does not do it correctly. So let me ask you a question, Chris. If I could actually build you a website today, or the website that we're working on right now, and I didn't screw you over and it didn't cost all that money, do you think that maybe we could work together? Yeah, dude, that would be sick. Okay, perfect. So let me just ask you, now we're going to overview their past pain right here. What have you tried in the past? I mean, you've said that all these problems have been occurring. What has really been the issue? Well, dude, my mother paid this guy one time and da-da-da-da-da, and we freaking got screwed over, and then you talk about all their past experiences. This is where you go ahead and you stretch the gap. Like I told you, current situation, desired situation. You're going to take their current situation, you're going to make it very, very far away from the desired situation. You're going to make it so far that they feel like it's impossible to do this by themselves. You're going to make it so difficult and so front of mind that solving this issue needs to happen today. Because what happens today is that they're going to pull out their little gold Amex card and they're going to swipe it on your Stripe account and you're going to make $1,000. But the biggest question here when it comes to selling is, can you actually help these people? If they pay you and you can't help them, then are you scamming them? Once you overview the past pain, then you want to sell them on the vacation. A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll get to this point in the sale and they'll say, well, perfect. Our program is super intuitive. We have the top level performative alloys. We have AI integration. And then they just go off the rails about all the features of their business. But that's not how you sell, because you have to sell, like I said, with emotion, not logic. Not because the grass is long, but because when the grass gets cut, your wife has more sex with you because she is more proud of the lawn. She likes the lawn better. She can look at it. She can feel it. She can touch it. Her friends can come over. They have a barbecue in the backyard and everybody is saying, dude, your lawn is so short. Oh my God. It's the coolest lawn I've ever seen. Look at the patterns. Look at the lines. Now you understand how to sell. If you can talk about Hawaii and not the plane ride to Hawaii. And it's at this point in the sale that you make the offer right here. Everything that happens before this moment, every problem, everything that they talk about, I don't want to get screwed over. I got to talk to my parents, got to talk to my mom. All these things are obstacles. The second you drop the price and you say, well, all right, Chris, it's going to be $1,500. You don't say anything. Those obstacles, whatever was not taken care of up there in the top part of the sale, now becomes an objection. And now it's even heavier because they are confronted with a price and they are confronted with the reality that they need to make a decision right now. Most people who say that they're in sales will do one of two things at this point. They will go ahead and they will close down these objections like a man, or they'll do a 2-call close. So this will be call 1, and then this is call 2. So most people cannot handling objections in reality. So they're going to say, well, Chris, let me think about this. I'm going to go back to my notes and we can reconvene in a week and see if you want to move forward then. How does that sound? And then nothing happens because the second call is weeks away and now you have time for people to back out because their mind is twisting in different directions. The whole point here is when you drop the price, you want to be able to explain away the concerns. You want to be able to go ahead and move people through what they're feeling. Because the truth is, let me give you an example. Yeah, dude, it looks great. Let me just think about it. You're going to hear that objection every single day of the week. If you hear it all the time from every person that you're pitching, it is an objection that is able to be handled. And the way you handle it is something like this. No, I understand. There's feel, there's felt, and there's found. This is Dan Locke right now. I feel you. I feel you, Chris. I feel like, thinking about it would probably be the smart move in this decision. Felt is I feel the same exact way. I actually myself would probably really need to think about this decision too. It's $1,500. It's something that I probably should think about. Found. But what we have found, Chris, is that people typically when they say, hey, look, I need to think about it, what they're actually saying is that they need more information because something about what we just talked about was still on your mind. It still confuses you a little bit and you just need a little bit more clarity to make the next step. Does that sound about right? Yeah, to be honest, they need to think about it. If I were to make this free, would you have to think about it then? Well, no, I don't need to think about it then because it's free. Okay, so somewhere between free and $1,500, there's a deal that's going on right there. So if it's about the price, why don't we do this? You pay $500 today, and then as the website gets more completed, we do $500 in a couple of weeks, $500 at the end. Does that sound fair? Yeah, dude, that sounds great. All right, I'm going to send you the Stripe link right now. What card do you want to pay with? And then once they pay, most people get really hyped up that they make money, like super hyped up. I've been there. $500 hits the account. You get off the call. You start running around to your buddies. You call your mom. You call your dad. Mom, I made money online. It's not a scam. I know how to do this. Da 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 da. You start freaking out, but you forget the fact that you now have a paid client. That this is when the work starts. When this is what all the preparation over the last months, years has actually turned into. Is you going into this moment right now. And most people just don't know about that. They just like completely let it slip their mind. They're like, oh, I have to work. Oh, I had a friend that closed a $70,000 contracting job, cash collected. And he got so excited at $70,000, biggest deal I've ever seen in my life. He closed $70,000 the day after because he did not reassure the decision. The client canceled on him. You either get a chargeback, you get a refund, you get a cancellation, something happens if you don't reassure them. So what we need to do is we need to incorporate right in this part, time to value. It's how much time is going in between you and your initial purchase in the first piece of value. So what I would do immediately after somebody purchases is I would connect them. I would connect them into a group chat. I would put them in a 3-way call. You know, if this is a website, if you have a designer that's working, I would put the client with the designer. You feel like you're making progress in some regard. Now, guys, this was pretty in depth. I'm not going to lie, but I do realize that we covered a lot of stuff. So if you want me to personally walk you guys to 10K, I can't do it for everyone. I'll probably do it for like 2 or 3 people. I want you guys to reach out to me personally. This is my personal cell phone. It's the phone that is sitting on the floor right here. I want you guys to personally reach out to my cell phone. We can see if it's a good fit, but I'll probably help 2 or 3 people this month hit 10K. So if you want to be one of those people, all you got to do is message me. All right. I love you guys. Peace out.